Some mothers ask for help in ways that words could never explain. I learned that lesson on a hot afternoon in our village. For several months, I had been feeding a stray dog who often wandered around the construction sites and small roads near my home. She wasn't really anyone's dog, although years ago a local shop owner had taken her in and given her food whenever possible. Life had become difficult for that family, and they spent most of their time working in the city. The dog was never intentionally abandoned, but she had gradually learned to survive on her own, eating wherever she could and depending on the kindness of strangers. That afternoon, I noticed something unusual. The dog appeared carrying a tiny puppy in her mouth. At first, I thought she was simply moving one of her babies from one place to another. That isn't uncommon. Mother dogs often relocate their puppies when they feel unsafe. But then she walked directly toward me. She stopped only a few feet away and carefully placed the puppy on the ground. I laughed nervously. "Don't look at me," I said. "I'm not taking your baby." The dog stared at me. Then she picked up the puppy again. A few steps later, she put the puppy down once more. And once again, she looked directly at me. It was almost as if she wanted me to follow. I wasn't entirely sure what she was trying to do, but curiosity got the better of me. "Fine," I said. "Show me where you're going." The dog immediately picked up the puppy and started walking. Every few meters she would stop and check to make sure I was still behind her. It felt less like following a stray dog and more like being guided somewhere important. The path led through tall grass, piles of old materials, and narrow spaces between abandoned structures. The deeper we went, the more hidden the route became. Then suddenly she disappeared. I stopped. For a moment I couldn't see where she had gone. A few seconds later, I spotted movement near a pile of debris covered by weeds and rusted wire. The mother dog had squeezed through a small opening. When I carefully moved closer and looked inside, I finally understood. There was her nest. Hidden deep beneath the shelter were 4 tiny puppies. 1, 2, 3, 4. The little family had been living there all along. The puppies were so young that their eyes had only recently opened. They wobbled awkwardly whenever they tried to move and immediately pressed themselves against one another when they sensed my presence. The mother dog stood nearby, watching carefully. She wasn't aggressive. She wasn't threatening. She simply wanted to make sure her babies were safe. Looking around, I realized why she had chosen that location. The space was hidden from people, protected from wind, cooler than the open ground outside. For a stray mother raising puppies alone, it probably felt like the safest place available. Still, it wasn't ideal. Food was scarce, clean water was almost impossible to find, and the mother herself looked thin. Far too thin. Anyone who has cared for nursing dogs knows how much energy it takes to feed a litter of puppies. Her body was working constantly, producing milk while simultaneously trying to survive on whatever scraps she could find around the village. No wonder she looked exhausted. I sat quietly for a while, watching the little family. The puppies climbed over each other. The mother cleaned their faces. Every now and then she would glance toward me, as if wondering whether I intended to help or simply observe. Eventually, I made my decision. I couldn't leave them without support. The problem was that I didn't have much time. Work was waiting, and I needed to return to the construction site later that day. So instead of preparing homemade food, I drove to a nearby store and bought the best supplies I could find. High-quality canned food, dry dog food, fresh water, and a few nutritional treats designed for nursing mothers. When I returned, the mother dog immediately recognized me. This time she approached without hesitation. She had learned that I wasn't a threat. I carefully placed the food nearby. At first, she seemed uncertain. Then the smell reached her. Hunger quickly overcame caution. The poor girl began eating immediately. Watching her made me realize how difficult life had been. She wasn't eating because she was greedy. She was eating because she needed strength. Every bite would eventually become milk for her puppies. The position of the food bowl wasn't ideal at first. She had to stretch her neck awkwardly to reach it. So I moved everything closer to the entrance of the shelter. The difference was immediate. Now she could eat comfortably without leaving her babies for too long. After finishing the food, she drank deeply from the water bowl. I placed it inside the protected area where she could access it whenever necessary. The relief on her face was impossible to miss. Animals may not speak our language, but gratitude often requires no translation. Before leaving, I spent a few more minutes watching the family. The puppies had already become curious about the world. One stumbled toward the entrance before falling over. Another attempted to climb across a sibling and immediately rolled onto its back. The mother watched everything patiently, tired, hungry, but devoted. As the sun began lowering in the sky, I prepared to leave. Work still awaited me. Life still had responsibilities, but my thoughts remained with that hidden family. People often see stray dogs and assume they are simply surviving. The reality is much more complicated. Many of them are mothers. Many are protecting young lives. Many spend every day making impossible choices just to keep their families alive. That mother dog wasn't asking for sympathy. She wasn't asking for rescue. She was simply doing everything she could with the resources available to her. And somehow, despite all the challenges, she was succeeding. As I walked away, I looked back one final time. The mother had returned to her puppies. The little ones were curled together in their hidden shelter. For tonight, they had food. For tonight, they had water. For tonight, they were safe. And sometimes when life is difficult, safety for one more night is already a victory. I promised myself I would return the next day. Because once you've been trusted by a mother protecting her babies, walking away completely is no longer an option. Some rescues begin with an emergency. Others begin with a simple act of trust. This one began when a tired mother dog placed her puppy at my feet and silently asked me to follow